Okay, so we get into Anuyoga, Anuyoga Dana Pakara. Anuyoga. Anu is in accordance to. Yoga is union. Anuyoga Dana Pakara, meaning in Sanskrit, Prakara, the process. What's the process? What can come and what can't come? That's the question. What do you think can come? And what do you think cannot come? So, what Buddha says, or what Sariputta says, is that Kim nu kho avuso Sariputta ahesum atimadhanam anye samana va brahmana va bhagavata bhiyo bhinyattara sambodhiyanti evam putto aham bhante no iti vadeyam. That means if somebody asks me whether in the past, future, or present, if anybody's direct knowledge is superior to the Buddha, whichever Buddha it is, it's not about Gautama, any Buddha, any person who becomes a Buddha, is anyone who can surpass the Buddha? And the answer is no. Now, may I ask a question? Why? First and foremost, nobody knows there are three worlds. In Hindu scriptures, they talk about three worlds and they don't know what are the three worlds. But in any other scripture, you will not find anything about three worlds. So the first world is the world of beings. Beings which can take form, the consciousness that can take a form. So that is called Sattva, and in Sanskrit, Sattva. So there are three states, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So the first stage is the Sattva, is essence. Rajas is the movement and Tamas is the darkness. So when a being enters into the womb, it knows, but it forgets, and that's it. So when it comes out, it forgets. So none of us today know why we entered. In the case of the Buddha, all the time, he knows the entry, he knows he's come out, and he knows when he's going to end the journey, all the three. In our case, we don't know the entry. We don't know why we have this parent, and we don't know the exit either. If somebody were to ask, Vilas, are you going to live tomorrow? I think I can guess. Are you going to live for the next 50 years? I don't know. And that's a problem. So that means I don't know the Sattva Loka. This is one Loka. This itself I don't know. Forget about anything else. So now I have to rely on God. I don't know. If somebody were to ask me, do you know? I said, I don't know. Then who knows? The God only knows. Why I am born here, only God knows. So all religions believe in God because we don't know, basically. So they can come to a two extreme. One, there's God. Another one, there's no God. That's all. Only two things. So one who knows, thinks there's God, is theist. That means something made it happen. And somebody who doesn't believe it just happened by chance is atheist. On the same front, you can get into another way of thinking, is that God created us. That means I am going to be taken care by the God. So I belong to the God. So God is a protector. And another way, another thing I can call is, well, if that is true, then I don't see any soul departing from the body. When the person dies, we don't know where he went. So as soon as the body ends, the soul also is dead. So annihilation. So I can get into annihilationist attitude. I can say that it's eternal. I, who is the Son of God, in my ignorance, I forgot God. So God is going to take care of me. So if I keep on remembering the God, then God does things for me. Because I have no idea how did I enter here, why I'm in this situation, why I'm getting something, why I don't get something. I have no idea. Why did I get this wife? I don't know. Why did I get this son? I don't know. Why I didn't get a daughter? I don't know. Why I got this house? I don't know. So, whatever I know is exactly I don't know. Meaning after it happens, I know, but before that I have no idea why something, why I got this job, why I couldn't get that job. I don't know. So then who knows? God only knows, because He has created me. So every religion comes to the Creator. There's somebody who has created me. And that's fine. That's the truth of it. Because if you don't know something, so I need to ask my parent. And my parent says, God came to me and said that here is going to be a son. Oh, so nice. Because my parents are like God. My teacher is my God. So that's the Sattva Loka essence. There's some essence here. What do you mean by essence? There is consciousness. I'm conscious of it. There are things which are happening. There are things which are not happening. Things which are happening is also not in my control. Things which are not happening is also not in my control. That means there is somebody who can control it. And that's God. So this is theist. So Buddha talks about two extremes. One sattva, sattva, tamo. These words he uses. So tamo is darkness. So then actually we are in darkness. So there are four layers, four ways of darkness. One, we already covered this in the same sutta. One comes into the being and doesn't know, enters into darkness and goes into darkness. One comes into darkness and knows what to do and gets into light. One comes from light and gets into darkness, and one comes from darkness, goes to the darkness. So light to light, darkness to darkness, light to darkness, darkness to light. We have four situations. So the Sattva Loka, Buddha knows completely. He knows every being, how it appeared, till what time it will be appearing, and when it will depart, of every being. I have no idea of myself. Forget about anybody else. Even I can't talk about my wife when she is going to die. I only wish she doesn't die, because all my activity comes to an end. So I only wish every day, God, please ensure my wife is healthy and she is there. And I'll pray to God, hey God, please take care of my son. Please take care of my son. And when my son gets married, I'll say, please take care of the couple. Bless the couple. Then when they have kid, I'll say, bless the couple and the children. I have no idea. What if you get an idea? Will you still believe in God? The answer is no. Because now you can see how it happens. Then are you turning into an atheist? No. You're not saying it by chance, by random causes. We don't know the cause. So you know the cause, you know the effect. So hence you're not an atheist. In the same token, you're not a theist. So you have got off both the extremes. So you're in the middle. So this way of looking, only Buddha can have. So this is Sattva Loka. Then we come to the second Loka, Sankhara Loka. Sankhara Loka is literally meaning intentional world. Whatever is being intended. So can anybody know all the intentions of all the things? I can't know my own intention. Forget about somebody's intention and all beings' intention. So I'd only say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa, because I have no idea how he knows, how he comes to know the intention. And the person comes, the Buddha comes to know of the intention, or any Deva coming, he knows of the intention, any Brahma coming, he comes to know of the intention, and all the lokas he knows, including the below, above, wherever it is. Wow, this is great. So, there's no one superior than that. Then Okasa Loka. Okasa means things. How the thing came to be. So let's say Google. How did Google come to be? So he knows everything about Google, let's say. How did Apple come to be? How did this come to be? How that come to be? How this product came to be? How the stone came to be? How mud came to be? How the earth came to be? And all the planetary systems, how it came to be. And when it came and when it's going to get destroyed. He knows both. The entry and exit of everything. I only know through scientific interpretation that presently the world is expanding or the universe is expanding. But Buddha says, I have seen eons after eons of expansion and contraction. Well, now we call it a parallel universe and this universe and that universe. Is still struggling to find. Okay. He says, I've seen all. Okay. Just like a child play. What have you found? I found a ball. Enjoy, enjoy. Come back to me when you find something else than the ball. So we're still hunting around, but Buddha says, I know everything. As many eons as it can get a starting point. So he says there are people who have seen 40 eons and they see no end to it. So they believe that God is there or something is there. And I have seen even that being not there. That's a max, 40 eons. I've not even seen 1 eon. There are people, sages, who have seen 40 eons. In the same sutta, we already done that, 40 eons. Okay. And hence, if somebody can say Buddha's knowledge can be surpassed by anyone, impossible. Not the Gautama I'm talking about. Yes, Bobby.
Sorry. So when you say like Sattva Loga and Sankhara Loga and then Okasa Loga, these first two logas, they are the same, right? Because only the beings can have intentions. And other things, there is no, for example, when
here we have understood the being arising and passing away. Here, every sankhara is known. Every intention of every being is known. That's the difference.
So what I was saying is, that I understood. Only beings can have intentions, right? Not.
So that is fine, but intention is intention, right? You have 6 intentions. So 6 into multitude of beings, right? How many? How many combinations can you find?
Why you said Okasa Loga, you said that even the Earth, Google, all this type of, which doesn't classify as a being, I know how it is born and how it is destroyed also comes under that.
Yes.
So they cannot have, for example, Earth cannot have an intention, right? So that's what I was trying.
No, we're not talking about intention of the Earth. How did the Earth come to be? Like if you say planet Venus, how did Venus come to be? We only know that there is Venus, but how did it come to be? How did the Milky Way come to be? How does Andromeda come to be?
I think Bobby is probably saying Satta. If you know all the Satta, you should have known their intentions also. I mean, anyway,
no,
you know everything.
Yeah, I understood his questions, but then the sankharas are different than the being. Yes, being only makes sankharas, agreed. But knowing every sankhara of everything that has happened in her past life from the beginning of the time is what he's talking about.
That means Sankhara is more subtler than the being, Satta.
Yeah,
More
absolutely.
subtler.
Because
so-
avijja pachay sankhara, right? So now that's the starting point of it.
But Ogasha is not coming. Ogasha can be like a non-being, right?
It is non-being only, but there is something there, right? So do you know how is a mountain formed? And we can say, yeah, this is how volcanic. And now my question comes, why the volcanic eruption happens? And we don't know. And we can say, yeah, there is volcanic eruption. Agreed. So when the lava spills over, it turns it's a mountain. Fine, sir. Then why there is fire beneath the earth?
Well, see, when we say, like, sometimes we say, like, okay,
Yes, go ahead.
the like, some, because of some beings, certain certain things happen in around that place. For example, if you have got positive frequencies in certain places, certain things happen, whereas negative frequencies, you would have, like, things like earthquakes and other like tsunamis or volcanic eruptions and things like that. So is that like the environment or the inanimate objects are in relation to the beings around that place?
Yes. It's like this. To meet the being's criteria, the environment also changes. Like today, we are putting a lot of pesticides in the soil. So you'll get plants which can eat the pesticide, or which can take the pesticide, and then that enters into the body. So then the cells will get modified, right? So the environmental factors, outside environment, internal environment, they keep on modifying, right? That environment is the okasa, actually. Okay. Now the question comes, how does it know to change? That's a surprising thing, right? So again, I have to believe in God. Only God knows it. You're right. So now let's take dinosaur era. So there were plants, there were shrubs, there were trees which helped the dinosaurs because they were carnivorous, they were also herbivorous dinosaurs. Then all of a sudden, a meteorite fell or whatever fell, and then they are vanished forever. And then some other beings came. So the planet changed to take care of that. Now how? How does it know?
As you said, the permutations are happening in relation to the beings which are supposed to be born in that particular era of existence.
Correct.
So say, for example, like the moon is influencing everything what happens in our Earth, like low tide and high tides and things.
Agreed, but how does it work? See, we know there is gravitation, but if the question is asked, who is controlling the gravitation?
Yeah.
And we can't answer that.
Well, then we have to go back to karma, and the only answer to that is like, okay, for this particular being this particular karma is going to be born.
No. We'll take Earth, Moon, and Sun, right? They are going around, but who taught them to go around? So then we can say it is gravitational pull. Now the question comes, who created gravitation? And it ends. So either I can say there is, in nature, there is gravitation. Now law of gravity, okay, great. Then on Venus, you have the same gravitational pull as in Earth? No. On Jupiter, do you have the same level of gravitation as in Earth? No. Then who made that? In Jupiter, it should be like this. In Saturn, it should be like this. In Earth, it should be like this. In Mercury, it should be like this. In Sun, it should be like this. Who made it? And then,
Maybe that's when you look at Buddha and get that smile, is it?
yeah, now you have two options. Option one, believe that Buddha knows it, which, okay. But if I'm an avid Christian, I would say God created it. And that's the best answer I can give. Yes, Gautam.
That would still mean that while the Hindus believe in the God, people who believe in Buddhism believe in the Buddha. That's equivalent to that.
Equivalent to that, yes.
Because when you go back to the questions that you, so it's blind faith again. So
Blind
how
or
is it different?
yeah, blind or unblind, yes, that's a faith or a belief. So now, how do we uncover it? Is there a way of uncovering it? And the answer is yes. You have to go to the origin. Origin, actually, they call it as an origin. Aganya is not origin, it's agrana, which means the foremost. If you can experience the foremost, the knowledge automatically opens. So, what's the process of knowing the foremost? You have the Noble Eightfold Path. So, what's the difference between the religion and then the Buddha teaching is that in the religion, you have to just believe it to be true because it's the gospel of the God. Whereas Hinduism or Christianity or Islam or whatever it is. Whereas in the Buddha, you can have evaluation, experimentation, and experience. So you don't have to take it on blind faith or blind belief. Forget the faith, blind belief. So there are many suttas which explain how you can know it. Because it's consciousness which can know it. Nobody else is there to know it. And the consciousness already knows it. It's covered by what I can say, some curtains. You remove the curtain and that's it. So what we call as a miracle is nothing called as a miracle. There's nothing like that. It's just the play of consciousness. And that's it. Ignorance is as much a play of consciousness as knowledge. And that's how Buddha answers to this question. That why I don't see it. He says, yes, Gautam.
No, I missed the train of thought in terms of the question that I asked was knowing of you. The whole discussion that we are having is based on the fact that Buddha knows three things basically.
Yes.
Which no other being or no other whatever enlightened being can know, or in any other religion. Now that is the trend of discussion that we were having.
Correct.
Now, how does this? When you talk about consciousness knows everything, where does the discussion? When we are now shifting this.
No, we are not shifting
entirely towards.
No. We are not shifting. We are trying to see that there is no person.
I missed out on the train of thought. So you can just connect it. I missed out on the train of thought. So can you just connect it? That's all.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to connect. So now, without knowledge, I can say God knows it. And now there's a way out in the Buddha Dhamma where you can know it. That means consciousness can know it, how things work. It's only the purity of the consciousness that matters. And that's all what Buddha Dhamma is, rather than believing or disbelieving it. That's where
I didn't get that purity of consciousness.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed. Meaning, I'm not very clear about it. What exactly is the?
See, when you say I am consciously experiencing something, there are two kinds of experience. One which is a given experience, one which you don't even know. So let's say you are, all this, what we are doing is to cleanse the consciousness or the mind. Mind has consciousness. So there's nothing called as mind, right? Without consciousness, which we have covered in length,
Correct.
long time. So if you cleanse the mind,
Yes, yes.
then you should be able to see everything. So there's no need to believe. So to,
Oh, okay, okay.
huh,
That way.
that
So we don't know. We don't know many things because our consciousness or our mind is not cleansed. So
Exactly.
cleansed mind can see everything. That is what you are saying.
yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
So the first person who can see like that is the Buddha.
Yeah.
If there were a foremost, and who
Okay.
can see it is the Buddha.
Okay. Got it.
And he's called the
Got it.
Buddha. He's called the Buddha because he's all knower. Now we are the students of the Buddha because we can't see it. So now through his eyes or his Dhamma, we are trying to see it. Like that.
I have some doubts, but I won't disrupt the entire thing anyway.
No, let us finish it. Otherwise, there's no point. Go ahead with your doubt.
No, because back at the same thing. It's back at the same thing. Hindus God, Christians Jesus, and any other religions God is equivalent to Buddha's pure consciousness. Same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. And then you are out of the Buddha Dhamma. As simple as that. See, the thing is like this. First, you should know what is the quality of the Buddha. This is not a person. We are talking of the quality. So there's a difference between Jesus. There's a difference between any God in the Hindu thing, any Islam or anything. So we are talking about a person, Muhammad as a person, and Jesus as a person, and Rama or Krishna or somebody as a person. We are not talking of a person at all. There's no person. Anybody can be a Buddha. Anyone. So that's a
Okay.
a change in the thought. So if you're thinking that even you have to believe in the Buddha, that means you have not understood Buddha at all. So you have come to the starting point of it. Buddha is not a person.
Okay.
And then comes the Dhamma.
Quality.
And then comes the Sangha. So if somebody is reciting Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangam Saranam Gacchami, and is coming to a person, then they are as blind faith or blind belief as any other religion, which I have been repeating it from the beginning of, from the time I've started the discourse in 2018. From that time, I'm saying it's not a person. For 6 years, I've been consistently repeating. But if you're getting a feeling that we are going towards a statue called as Buddha, then you are right. There's no difference.
No, because the qualities also which every religion imposes or reflects upon these so-called entities.
No, show me the quality of
They
no.
transfer these qualities to those.
No. Show me the qualities. Just tell me the qualities of some God. It should be verifiable. It should be experientiable. It should be experimentable.
Okay. Okay, got you.
You can't. You try it out and let me know, not right now, but offline also you can try it out. No one can come and say, this is the quality of my God. This is exactly what you need to do, step 1 to step N, and then this is what you're going to get. You can't.
Right.
It's not possible. You have to have that belief somewhere. This is the only thing where you don't require belief. There's nothing to believe. And Buddha word of Saddha is not belief, it's faith. And he says experiential faith. It just doesn't say faith. Experiential faith means that you yourself has experienced it, not heard through someone. Like that.
Okay.
And before that, Gautam, you need to have the morality, without which the Buddha Dhamma Sangha are of no use.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely right.
Yes, so it's not the same. It seems to be the same, but it's not. Okay, so this is the first change, meaning he can know all the three, and he can say, he means whoever is the Buddha, need not be this person or that person. And hence what Mahayana did is to make everyone as a bodhisattva. Because that makes sense, because everybody has a bodhi in that person. So they call him as a bodhisattva in Sanskrit and bodhisattva in Pali. So when Mahayana started, they named everyone as a bodhisattva. That means you have a chance of awakening. It's up to the consciousness to awaken to the reality or sleep. At present, we all are sleeping. With whatever we know, that's all we know. We just came out of the womb and then we started eating, drinking and blah, blah. And then the body started growing, and then we went to the school and went to the college, we searched for a job, and then we got married and we have kids, and then we're taking care of the kids, and we are staying whichever country or province or wherever it is, doing our own good thing or bad thing or whatever thing. And then one day time will come and the consciousness has to drop the bag and it goes away, continues itself. So one school of thought says that there is continuity. Another school of thought says that there is no continuity. So one is an atheist and another one is theist. And what is an atheist is the one who says, that's it. And the thesis is the one, God will take care of me. Whereas in the Buddha Dhamma, there's nothing called as atheist and theist. It doesn't exist. There's no absolute sense of everything or anything in its absolute fixed format at all. Because he knows all the three. Thing, the intentions or the preparations, what is going behind the scene, and also the sattva or the sattva, which is called as being. So these three loka. And no one except for a Buddha can know all the three, its origin and cessation. He can exactly say when the river is going to dry. And it happens. Yes, Aryu.
Yeah, I was thinking in the I forgot the name suddenly, but in the sutta, Buddha said there are three wrong views, right? One of which is there's karma. Right? Karma decides whatever happens. There's no free will of such. Right? Which does that belong in one of these two?
No. What happens is there are three views in the Anguttara Nikaya 3.61, the Titayatana Sutta. So you have to go by God, one. You have to go by the karma, two. You have to go by the random causes. That means anything that is happening in my life is because of God. God will. Okay? That means even the wrongdoing I'm doing is because of the God. Because the God is saying that, okay, go and kill this person, I'm just killing. And God is saying, go and steal, and I'm stealing. God is saying, hey, tell lies, I'm lying. Because God is saying that, right? Then the second view comes, due to karma, I am killing. This person was supposed to come in front of me, and he came, and then it's the deed. I had to kill him. There's no other way. So I killed him. Like, I was hungry. I was hungry. I was going on the road. I saw let's say, a cow. And I had a shotgun with me. I didn't know what to do with it. And I was hungry anyway. So I took it, aimed at it, done, cut it off, ate it. Then I was going on the road and then they were putting the board there, Black Friday sale. So anyway, Friday is black. So I went to the shop and I asked that guy, hey, give me that. He said, no way. Just took a gun, shot him, took that thing and went away. See, I happened to be there because of my karma. So I shoot you down and take it. I saw a girl on the road. She was looking pretty. It's not my mistake for her to be pretty. It's her mistake to be pretty. So I just took her, enjoyed, threw her off, went away. So that's what Buddha says in that sutta, that either you put it on God, or you put it on karma, or you put it on random causes. I don't know. I don't know. Like in the US, every few words they say, I don't know. I don't know. So like that, I don't know. I just came there. I don't know. It just happened. I don't know. It just happened. So like that. So these are the three things which a being will have. Okay, now I can do the same thing. I go to the Black Friday sale. Oh, God put on the Black Friday sale. Oh my God. So I went inside and God said, hey, Vilas, why don't you steal this? Take it. And I stole it. And in fact, it is saying, steal the cost or steal the price. It was dollar so and so, and now it is dollar so and so. So you actually stole the price. I thought, why don't I steal the object also? Forget the price. I brought it home. God told me to do it. So every person will have Bobby T blame the devil, then not God. Yeah, whatever. So basically, Aryu, those countries who believe in karma, deed, will put the middle one because they don't know how to escape it now. So they start blaming the karma. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, where does it belong in this kind of theist versus atheist kind of belief system? Maybe it's like a God called karma, something like that.
No. If you are on a God cycle, really on a God cycle, for things you do wrong, you fear. For things you do right, you appreciate God. Okay. So I put God-fearing person. So there are some people who say, I'm very God-fearing. You know what it really means? He fears that God is going to punish him in hell. In order to go to heaven, the God has to say, hey, you know what? You can't do this. Otherwise, I'll put you in hell. So he opens up his scripture, reads, oh, God said, when this happened, he went, so and so went to hell. Oh, I don't want to go to hell. I'm not interested in hell. So I will not do it. That is theist. Atheist is, have you seen anybody going to heaven in your life? No. Have you seen anybody going to hell in your life? No. Heaven and hell are here. If you go to India, it is hell. If you stay in US, it's heaven. Simple as that. Right? If you go in Mumbai in a train, you'll find millions of people dangling around trying to get their body in, out some way and trying to get in, get out. And if you stand on a station, okay, and you can find only heads, millions of them, like ants, and the train comes. Whereas Amtrak or any of the tube train in the US. Just enter, stand, the train comes, just walk by, and you say, hey, don't come so close to me. I need my privacy. Here, you are sitting on him. Right? Yes. Yes, Marin, go ahead.
Here the buses doesn't stop if there is too much crowd. The buses doesn't stop on the bus driver will not stop at the stop where it's supposed to stop because there's too much touching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too much crowd, maybe it should be full seat is full.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple of people.
Couple of people can stand.
And then they will not stop.
They will not stop. Whereas
Exactly.
in India, it's like hanging on.
So if I'm an atheist, I say, you guys are crazy. For a heaven which you have not even seen, you're worrying. See, going to India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and any of these dirty countries, Ethiopia and Zambia, Namibia, and then Nigeria, and so. It's pathetic. You fly Ethiopian Airlines, you don't even know whether it's going to land or not land. And when it lands in the airport, you can see cattle on the road, on the tarmac. And in India, you can see cows on the road, and dog and cows and sheep, buffaloes, humans, excreta, this, that, and paper. You name it, you have it. That's hell. You come to Sweden, land in Oslo, heaven. Simple. Or I land in Gutenberg. That's even more better. Only trees, only nice, what you can say, Alps. I come to Colorado, my favorite place. I don't like to go anywhere. That's heaven for me. I would actually sing a song sitting there. Country roads take me home. I would do that. Denver, I'm coming. Who's going to be in India? And you yourself saw, Ariu, when you saw in Patna. Would you like to be born there? In fact, you cried in the airport. You're sobbing. That's hell. You saw the hell. So if you're an atheist, that's hell. And heaven is where you're staying. You're having everything. So now you want to play baseball. And just across your street, you have a huge garden. And then 7 kilometers or 7 miles of your house, you have a nice trail filled with forest. And you have a mountain view. And that's the reason it's called Mountain View. So you're staying in Mountain View, California. Who can have that life? And you come here. It's donkeys and cats and cattle and whatnot. So aren't we in hell? That's what it is. Now, who asked you to be in hell? You could have been in heaven. That means you are deprived, so you are in hell. We are not deprived, so we are in heaven. So after death, that's it. Game over. Which idiot is worrying about heaven? There's one heaven upstairs. Have you gone upstairs to see heaven? And you showed hell means downstairs. Who said so? I don't believe there's any heaven and hell down there. Makes sense. If I were an atheist, I would do like this. If I were a theist, I'll pray, God, please get me a visa, H-1B visa to US. Please, God. Please, for my sake. See my tears here. And an atheist would say, crazy guy. Instead of doing that, study something, take a graduation, apply, you get H-1B visa, go to US. What are you doing in front of a God? Oh, God, please. What God? Take exam, man. Stupid guy. Will the God come and write your exam? Yes, sir.
Yeah, what would this person who believe in karma do? He just give up. He just whatever happens will happen.
Now we come to the third one. Now in the karma, if it works, he'll put on himself. He say, I did it. If it fails, he says, karma. Because of my bad deed in the past, I've done this. Okay, so these three are wrong views because you don't know how it happened. Okay, so either you will appreciate yourself if it works. So let's say I get a visa, I get a H1B visa. Of all the people, I get, even before Shreyas can get H1B, I get my H1B. It's funny. So let's take this case where the company I'm working, they say, Vilas, you are becoming too popular, so why don't you go to US? Would I say no? And they say, we are getting your H1B. In fact, you're coming under H1B waiver. Wow. So I'll apply for EB1. I'm in the US. Who would say no? So what helped? My effort helped. So at that time, no karma will come. Okay. My H1B is rejected. I'll say, because of my bad deed in the past and that came in between, I don't know what did I do in my past and blah, 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 all that. Okay. Now what happens is things are working. I don't know how it worked. Things are not working. I don't know why it did not work. So I have only two options available with me. If it works, take it on myself or on the karma. Or if it doesn't work, anyway, I'm going to blame the karma. So then you might ask a question, what's the difference between God and karma? God is one being who's sitting there and monitoring. Karma is something I've done, right? So which one is good? God is good or the karma is good? It depends. So a person, when things happen, he has two choices. Take it on himself, which is also karma, or put it on someone, which is also karma. Because of you, it happened. That's called blaming. So we blame. We blame the situation or we blame the person. If this person had not come, I wouldn't have got angry. Wait a sec. He coming and you shouting, how it is related? A mad fellow. Because he came, I shouted. That's karma. So you can now have lies, you can slander, you can do whatever you want, and then because of the karma, he came, so what I can do? Or she came, what I can do? So in the Buddha, you'll never find this at all. Because he knows everything. He knows this happened, this caused this caused this, and this caused this. And that's the reason he came up with the formula. This being, this comes to be. With the arising of this, this arises. With this not being, this does not come to be. With the cessation of this, this ceases. So he knows both the end and the middle. In our case, we don't know the beginning, nor we know the middle, nor we know the end. And hence he says, my Dhamma is excellent in the beginning, excellent in the middle, excellent in the end. Because he knows all. And nobody can know all. And you can verify. In other, when we call religion, we believe it. God has said to be. In the beginning, there was light. Who switched on the light? Don't ask like that. God, I'm telling you, don't play with God. Why? You don't know the consequence. Why? What do you mean, why? He will punish you. That's the only job he has, I think so. Look, I'm telling you again, talk anything about me, it's okay, but don't talk bad about God. Because in the beginning, there was light. I can say in the beginning there was darkness and God switched on the light. Yes.
No, last time when I was in India, like I was, when I little bit I start talking about Dhamma, and then when I question this, my aunts and all, about Christian, this thing that okay, why God is doing all this war and everything in Israel, and one of my aunt was getting so angry, don't make my God, don't you do whatever, and she was getting so angry. Same thing what you're saying.
Yeah. Don't tell anything about my God. You can take out anything you want.
And I told, your Bible teaches God is love. Why you are getting angry? Then others, my mother-in-law pacified her. See, he's meditating a lot. Don't play with him. you can't win this argument.
Yeah, so that's how it works. So we have three views: God, karma, and random. Yes, Gautam.
No, so these the middle, the starting and the middle and the end that you mentioned, which is equivalent to the consciousness knowing the beginning, the middle, and the end of the four kind of categories that you mentioned.
Yes.
From darkness to light, from
Light to
and
light.
the four categories of
Yes. From
Yeah.
light to light, darkness to darkness, darkness to light, and light to darkness.
So the consciousness which keeps getting reborn and reborn are those kind of varieties of these consciousness basically
Yes.
that we are talking about.
Yes. And hence, see now, Gautam, to answer in a more pragmatic way, do you know how you came to be? And the answer is no.
No.
Do you know where you're going? And the answer is no.
No.
So then you are bound to believe three things: in God, or in random, or in karma.
Yeah.
That's as simple as that. So there is no blind faith at all in Buddha Dhamma. You can really see that's the way you have to take it, because you have no idea. So then you have to believe in these three things.
In fact, to put it mildly, or to put it in an experiential way, you realize that as you keep practicing, your peace and calm improves with each steps that you follow in Buddha's morality or whatever it is. So,
Correct.
practical experiences now itself, rather than even believing in the later life or whatever it is, you keep on experiencing the peace and calm and the benefits in the existing life itself as you keep progressing.
Exactly. And that's the reason you don't blindly believe the Buddha.
Absolutely.
That's how it works. Okay, so this is the difference. So there's no one who can know better than Buddha. I think we stopped at only one. We had to go to the second one. So then the second one is there anyone who can equal to the Buddha? And the answer is yes. There can be. In any other tradition? And the answer is yes. So that's possible. And the third one is, yes, Sergio.
I'll go first, Shreyas. So it says this Pali, it says equal to the Buddha when it comes to awakening, and I think it's Sambodhiya. So I think it's related to the Four Noble Paths, right? This knowledge is regard to how to. Yeah, so Sambodha is
Anye samana va brahmana va bhagavata sama equal sambodhiyanti evam putto aham bhante evam ti vadeyam. Meaning, can anyone know by his own resolution equal to the Buddha? And the answer is yes.
so
Meaning-
it's not related to the path or the Four
No,
Noble
no.
specifically. Okay.
No, he will come to that himself. So whatever is called a Samma Sambuddha, anyone by his dint and resolute and being pure and etc. etc. Like I was saying to Gautam, that is the consciousness is pure. And Buddha says pure and bright is consciousness. Right? Paryodatan, parisuddhan paryodatan is the word what he uses. So the consciousness is always pure. It's the light which is falling is colored. So if you remove that, it's always pure. So that being the case, it doesn't matter whether the person is a follower of the Buddha or not. The truth remains the same. So he would have somebody in him. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking in terms of like Pacceka Buddha. Would he be?
No,
in this
it got
category?
nothing to do with Pacceka Buddha or this Buddha. Buddha is Buddha. Pacceka Buddha is a person who doesn't know how did he come there, how did he get enlightened, and he can't teach anyone. Samma Sambuddha is the one who knows how he entered there and he can teach. What we are talking about is a Samma Sambuddha here. So he's asking, is there anyone who can be equal to the Buddha in any other religious tradition, in any other tradition? Anya means other, in any other. And the answer is yes, it is.
Right. I guess I'm just asking, let's say Pacceka Buddha, he would not know the beginning, middle, and end. I mean, that's why he.
No, he knows, but he
knows.
doesn't know how did it transform. Whereas in the case of a Samma Sambuddha, he knows the transformation completely.
But if he can see all the satta and all their sankhara, he would have seen how the past arahat were putting effort in this noble path. He can.
Buddha means that only, but Pacceka means just arrived by chance.
But even this Pacceka Buddha, he would have know all the satta and know all the.
Exactly, but he doesn't know how to put it.
But he could see the others are going. He would see the
Exactly, but then you have to explain that, right? And he can't do it. That's the problem. Pacha Eka means just arrived. Just arrived. It's just like a train arrived and it doesn't know how did I arrive here or something like that. But he has understood everything. So that's the reason it's called Buddha. It's not just Pacceka. Yes, Gautam.
No, it's like a consciousness, a pure consciousness, a good consciousness which was born in this world with all the purities of qualities of a good human being or a good Buddha and passes away basically. But without knowing what is the past karma, what is the current this thing. But he's pure in his this thing.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing is that in any religious tradition, forget religious, any tradition, a person can purify. He will come to the Buddha. He will become Buddha, basically.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying there. He can equal.
Correct.
But he can't surpass because there's nothing called surpassing. But yes.
Yeah, that's the ultimate.
Yes, that's ultimate. Yes, Aryo.
So just put into this specific question, this Pacceka Buddha, would you say it's equal to the Buddha in this particular question?
It's about Buddha. It's not about Samma Sambuddha. It's a Buddha. So what he's asking is like this: can somebody be equal to the Buddha? And the answer is yes. Whether you call it as a Pacceka Buddha or this or that, it doesn't matter. As long as the person is a Buddha, it doesn't matter. Because that's the highest any being can reach.
And he has also this Sattaloka, Sankaraloka,
that will be known. Buddha means one who knows everything. See, why do you call somebody a Buddha? Because there's nothing more to be known.
Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering, because usually we say Itipisa Bhagavata, Samma Sambuddha. We don't say, other Buddha.
But that's correct. See, the thing is like this, Aryu. Why are you talking Samma Sambuddha? Because he, by his own resolute, is able to see everything and he can share. And he himself says that. Buddha himself says that why he is a Samma Sambuddha. Because he not only knew, he knew how to transmit it. And he was wondering whether should I transmit or not. Because it is so deep and so, not able to understand. Because people have so many views. So how can I explain? So he thought, I will not teach. A Pacceka Buddha will get into this thing that I can't teach because he doesn't know how to put it in words. He's understood it, but he doesn't know how to put it in words. So he can't teach. Yes.
Let's say in Gautama Buddha's case, he was able to give accounts on how the last Buddha did it, the previous Buddha did it. At least he knows all these
Again, you are talking about the narratives. This Pacceka Buddha cannot have a narrative. See, it's about how you explain it, right?
things. So
Just
he
think.
cannot explain like.
Tell me
last
one thing.
Buddha was like this.
Tell me one thing. One person is, he doesn't have speaking ability. You have blind people, you have deaf people, you have dumb people. But that person knows everything.
Mm.
Call a
But
Pacceka Buddha as
he can explain certain things, right? Let's say again, this person's last life is a sheep. You can say, oh, he's a sheep, but he cannot.
If he's a dumb person, cannot speak, what can he show? He can only symbolize, right? Which the other person might not understand, and hence he's called Pacceka Buddha. Because teaching requires a different kind of ability. That means transmitting requires a different kind of ability. Because you should be able to articulate, like what Shreyas put it, you should be able to give examples, you should be able to give similes, you should know the language, phonetics, this, that, so many things, right? That itself is a huge thing. This Pacceka Buddha, what you're talking about, will be in his own quarters, just ending his journey. So that's the reason generally Pacceka Buddha is not put in thing, because there's nothing to talk about. He's already understood it. It's over. Game over. So what are we talking is the Samma Sambuddha, whoever has come. Can anyone be equal to Samma Sambuddha or Buddha as such? And the answer is yes. That's what the Sutta says. And the third one.
Vilashi, can you say that again just now? Any Buddha?
Any person in any tradition, in any different viewpoint, can they come equal to the Buddha? And the answer is yes.
Equal to a Samma Sambuddha?
Yes. And the third question asks, can two Samma Sambuddha appear in the same time? And the answer is no.
I had a question.
Yes.
So, so it's kind of a two-part question. So, first one is, so if any other person has the viewpoint which is similar to Buddha, they'll eventually come to the same point, right? Like,
Yes, absolutely. The truth is the same, irrespective from where you come.
and the second point is, so the one other person who kind of did this was Shankaracharya, right? So he came close to what Buddha's viewpoint was, but then he did not teach the last step. He just jumped.
Yes, because that's the reason he is called as Pachanna Buddha, or rather he is Pacceka Buddha, because if you see, he came very close, but he couldn't exactly articulate it.
Right.
But if somebody could get it, he'll get liberated. So there's no second in Vedanta than Shankaracharya. Yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking earlier in this sutta, many about how exactly the Buddha teaches and all that, right? I think only a Samma Sambuddha would be able to be equal in this question, because all these qualities were talking about teaching only. And if someone is not equally capable of teaching,
no, there are two Buddhas, which you leave the Pacceka Buddha aside for time being, right? Otherwise, you will keep on going around in that. The question comes here. Can there be two Buddhas at the same time? And the answer is no. Can there be a person who can be equal to the Buddha? And the answer is yes. Call it as a Pacceka Buddha, call it as a Samma Sambuddha, it doesn't matter. Any person, by their dint and resolution and knowing what should be known, can get into Buddha. It need not be Gautama alone. That's what he means. So the question is there anything higher than the Buddha? And the answer is no. Is there something that is equal to the Buddha? And the answer is yes. And is there something when two Buddhas can appear at the same time? And the answer is no. So he says Anya, Anya, Anya everywhere because the other tradition, other belief system, whatever they have, can they come into equal to the Buddha? And the answer is yes. Absolutely yes. It's not a trademark TM of Buddha. It's the truth is the truth. It doesn't matter from where are you coming from. It doesn't change. The truth doesn't change. Your viewpoint might change about the truth, but the truth as such doesn't change. So if somebody knows the nature of things, it doesn't matter whether it's a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu or whatever. We are naming it like that, and there's no name for any Buddha. It's just a name and form. And what else is there? So we can't say, oh, he is actually Christian. How can he know it? No. A being is a being. When did he become a Christian? Because he is born in a Christian family, you start calling him as Christian. And if somebody is born in a Hindu family, you call him a Hindu. If somebody is born in a Muslim family, you call him a Muslim. But is he really a Muslim? No. Is he really Hindu? No. Is he really Christian? No. He's a seeker. So he's seeking the truth and he finds the truth. And when he finds the truth, there can be only one truth. There can't be many truths, right? So he understands this is the truth and it never changes. So now, in the case of the Buddha, at that time, before the Buddha, there was nothing called as Buddhism, for that matter. When he was Sumedha, he was knowledgeable of all the three Vedas. And even in the Sutta, he says, there was no person more knowledgeable in Vedas than me. That's the fact of it. So whatever was to be learned by the Buddha at that point in time, he has learned it. So now somebody can come and say, he rejected the Vedas. Stupidity. What is there to reject or accept? You're born in a particular tradition or particular belief system. You have to learn that. You learned it. Now you found out the way out and you found it. That's it. How does it matter? So you or me or anyone don't belong to Christianity or doesn't belong to Hindu or a Muslim or whatever it is. We have been named like that, and that's a conventional approach to it rather than the permanent approach to it, right? It's not a reality per se. So nobody is an atheist, nobody is a theist as well. They've been named by their whatever they think they have been affiliated to. But nobody is anybody. Because when the child is born, does it say Christian present, Muslim present, like that? Like in the school? No, it just cries. Every baby cries when it comes out. Doesn't matter what you name it. It smiles. It takes milk. It has no idea. Then after a few years, you Christian it. You teach it, saying that you're a Christian, you're Hindu, you're Muslim, you're this, you're that, your father is this, your mother is this, your brother is this. It learns. It's just an acquired thing. But by consciousness, it has got nothing to do with it. And hence it is called conventional reality because it's just a conventional. There's no real thing there. The reality is just a conventional. But the problem is the convention has become itself a reality. So you're cleansing the mind of that convention, saying that, hey, when did you become a Hindu? When I was born in my Hindu family. Excuse me, the day you were born, were you Hindu? I didn't even know how I came out. Excellent. Learn this. How did you come out? That's what makes you a Buddha. Then, whether Samma Sambuddha, we are attaching to the labels, get the label. Anybody can know the reality. It's about coming from darkness to light. As simple as that. I never knew how did I come. Now I know how I came. Now I know where I'm going. That's this main important than figuring out how can Christian become a Buddha? How can a Muslim become a Buddha? How can a Hindu become a Buddha? It's only Buddhist who can become Buddha. Stupidity. Somebody should take a gun and shoot that person down. Because it makes no sense. Stupidity. Because when you're born, you're of no religion, no identity. Why that? Even when the child was in the womb, it doesn't know. It doesn't say, hey, mom, please, I don't like to being this. Please put me in the lap of the parent who is actually Christian in US. I don't want to be born in the slum. And the mother says, excuse me, what are you talking? You're my child. No, it just comes out irrespective whether it's in a slum or on the road or in a palace or in wherever it is. Just comes out. There's no thing. It's just consciousness taking a form. So you're teaching the consciousness, meaning you as consciousness, teaching yourself how to come out of suffering. It doesn't matter whether you're Samma Sambuddha or you're this or that or whatever. So that's the reason it's Anya, any other. Okay, that's the confusion what people would have. So this sutta teaches everything. But what is Buddha Dhamma? Yes, Bobby or Merin, I don't know who wanted to talk. So
it was just me last year, it was just about the same thing. Like, I was thinking, it's like us now, currently, we have been born as Hindu or Muslim or Christian or whatever it is, and now we are learning Buddha Dhamma. It's a similar concept, isn't it?
yes,
But it's in a higher level. You're becoming a bodhisattva, and then you're turning into you can be born into even Buddha is born into probably a traditional Hindu kind of tradition.
not probably he is.
He did, and then he turned into this, and then he just found the truth. So it's just like finding the truth has no attachment to any religion.
Exactly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
But because we are so ingrained with our concepts of the traditional barriers, that's why I think we are still thinking in
yes.
that conventional ways.
See, one thing we all need to do, including what Gautam is saying, never hate anything and never love anything. If you love something, there is something you are going to hate. If I say, I love being a Buddhist, that means you start hating other things. If I love being a Christian or a Hindu, I hate other things. You are in a prison. It doesn't matter which prison it is. Take it that way. You're in a prison. You're imprisoned by what? Imprisoned by everybody's viewpoint. What else is there? Now you can't do what you want to do. You have to do what convention says you to do. So what's the escape? By not attaching to anything. That's the only way to escape. So don't love, don't hate. Be neutral. Somebody is a Christian, appreciate. Oh, good. Avid Christian, good. Excellent. Avid Muslim, okay, enjoy. Avid Hindu, okay. Avid Buddhist, okay. I'm not going to teach him Buddha Dhamma because he's a Buddhist. That means he believes in that figure. It's very difficult for him to understand the Dhamma. because he feels this Buddha statue is the Buddha. Now you can't add anything or remove anything from him. He's in darkness. Okay, pray. Pray to the Buddha. Best thing. Works for you. Then come to Jain. Mahavira. Great. Good. Hebrew. Zoroastrian. Or by whatever other religions we have in the world. Excellent. Because it's a consciousness which has taken that. Nothing anybody can do. There's no person there. There's no point in hating. And just because I know Buddha Dhamma, there's no point in feeling proud of it. That makes no difference. Consciousness shouldn't have polarities. Liking, disliking. So I'm not going to blame anyone, whether they are in whichever religion they are. If they come and ask me, Vilas, tell me what is the Dhamma? And I'm going to tell them this is the Dhamma. Whether they believe it, they don't believe it, they accept it, they reject it, whatever it is, that's their problem. Because it's their consciousness which has to become pure. You can't, I can give a soap to cleanse, but like in the Buddha Dhamma is a soap where you can put it and cleanse it. But if the person keeps the soap in his attic and prays to that soap, hail the soap, hail the soap, hail the soap. Hey boss, take that soap and no. I want to pray to the soap. Hail the soap. What I can do? Or what even Buddha can do? He'll say, okay, enjoy. So that's the reason Mahayana calls everyone a bodhisattva or bodhisattva, which is true because you have bodhi within you. You have to just awaken it. It doesn't matter which religion. And the last one before we close, I think we have 3 more minutes left. But why does Venerable Sariputta grant this in respect of some, but not in others? I would answer them like this. The perfect ones, the fully awakened Buddhas of the past were equal in awakening to myself. And I've heard and learned this in the presence of the Buddha. The perfected one, fully awakened Buddhas of the future will be equal in awakening to myself. And that also I've heard. It's impossible for 2 perfected ones, fully awakened Buddhas to arise in the same solar system at the same time. Why? Because the Bodhi can only operate once. That's the rule. That's a natural law. Nobody can come and change it. The law of nature. All the time Bodhi is available. But at one time, one Bodhi will happen, who will then take the generations towards the Bodhi, teaching them how to end the suffering. And then it goes down. When it goes down, it goes away. When it goes away, again it comes back. Just like the sun going away and the darkness coming in. And then when the sun comes back, the darkness is gone. No 2 suns can come at the same time. Yes.
So is it this, you said one solar system, so there can be many solar systems,
Yes. In many solar systems, there can be many Buddhas.
many Sammasambuddhas.
Yes.
So it is there and somewhere else. Now, at the moment, there might be some Sammasambuddhas and some.
Yeah,
other
absolutely. Absolutely. So that's why the reason even science believes in parallel universe. So Chakkavala means parallel universe.
So is that means that this one Sammasambuddha, Gautama the Buddha, he knows other solar systems Buddhas
Yes.
also,
Yes.
but he's not talking about all this Sammasambuddha. No, he's talking about only one solar system.
This.
Okay.
So that's the reason one person comes and asks the Buddha, is this all what you have as a Buddha Dhamma? He just takes some leaves and say, have you seen the forest and the leaves in my hand? Which is more? That is more or this is more? He says that is more. I have given you the Dhamma, what is required for coming out of suffering, rather than knowing everything what you should know. So then he says, concludes, what do I teach? I teach knowing of suffering, the origin of suffering, the cause of suffering, how to come out of suffering, and the path you took to come out of the suffering. I don't teach metaphysics or any other things. Yes, Aryu.
I guess we're out of time, but I thought Loka, when he was saying with the universe, but it seems like here we're just talking the solar system, which there could be millions of solar system, but I guess the word Loka, I mean, this cycle of universe, does it talk about cycle of universe or cycle of solar systems?
There are 4 ways of understanding Loka in the Buddha Shasana. One is the senses. That's Loka. Second one is arising and passing away itself is a Loka. And the third one is the world cycle, present world cycle, which you can experience. The fourth one is all the life cycles, all the things, Chakkavala. So what is being spoken here about the Buddha in the third one? It is in one solar cycle, if you take, that means you have a sun and the planets going around it, you can find only one Samma Sambuddha, not 2.
Oh, sorry. So whatever the scientists found out now, all this Milky Way, that all belong to one solar system.
Yes.
So the
We
scientists
are going around the Milky Way. We're still in the Milky Way galaxy.
So that is one solar system, but according to Buddha.
Yes.
So there is countless, like probably there is something beyond. You can't count it. It's finished. It is.
Yes, exactly. So what Buddha knows is all the solar cycles put together.
No, that answer itself is confusing. All means it is countless, right? So then how it will be all? So there is some ending somewhere.
Now that's why he says, don't go behind it. Now we either say, show me the origin or show me the ending. And that's the reason Vacchagota comes and asks him, Antava loko, Anantava loko.
That statement, all the solar system is wrong, right? So if you say
Why it is wrong? And that's the reason he doesn't answer. Only once or twice he's answered, I know everything by showing the leaves. Now, a smart person should understand. And when they question him back, he remains silent. That's the greatness of the Buddha. He doesn't answer because he knows there's no point. He's adding suffering. Because then he will say, how do you know? Now he is adding suffering back to the Buddha. And Buddha, why he should suffer? He'll just smile. Okay. Because human mind or any mind is like this. You give a small one, it goes to the origin. Tell me how this happened. Like what Aryu keeps on asking me. I tell him something, then he says, show me the sutta. As the sutta is going to change him anything. He wants to be sure, okay, Vilas has spoken, it's there in this sutta. Agreed. But what does it do to you? No, show me the sutta. There's nothing wrong in what he's asking. But that is what happens. So if somebody were to go to the Buddha and ask, sometimes he answers, like it says about Aganna, because there's a question asked. So he answers. In that he has loaded everything. Actually, if somebody were to see, he has loaded everything. Abhasara is in every Chakkavala, there's Abhasara. So you can get the answer there if somebody is smart enough. Yes, Aryu.
So just to confirm, you're saying the Milky Way is one solar system, not
Yes.
the sun, and then there's
The entire Milky Way is one solar system.
okay.
Or the galaxies.
The galaxy. This one
See, in
galaxy.
Sanskrit or in Pali, Chakkavala is the galaxy where you have galactical spheres, concentric spheres. And even in the Hindu scriptures, we have the same Chakkavala, talks about Chakkavala. They might not.
Even the solar system was rotating around. I'm just wondering where this clarity comes to you in terms of the Milky Way meaning.
No, there's no Milky Way as such in the Buddha or in the Hindu philosophy. We have after the Europeans started, and then they said this is a Milky Way galaxy, that is Andromeda galaxy, that is this galaxy, that galaxy. But what is mentioned is Chakavala. Okay. And since we don't know how to put it, we put it as solar system. So when we put it as a solar system, it means only one single sun. Yes. So now if you take the entire galactical mass, how long, how big it can be, you'll find one sun. This sun or that sun doesn't matter. There's one sun. Okay. Now when you expand, so when he says Loka is expanding and it's contracting, it's very clear. Whatever you call Big Bang or whatever it is, it exactly shows that it's contracting. And when it contracts, it goes out of operation, which we can call as a black hole, or we call by whatever name we can give now at this point in time.
Yeah, but the Big Bang was referring to the whole universe, not just the Milky Way, let's say.
That's correct. So that is what I'm also answering to you. So when he says the eons contracting, it means everything is contracting, not just one solar system contracting, right? All Chakavalas will contract and all Chakavalas will expand. So Buddha uses Chakavala to show everything about it. It's not about one. So when they say Samanta Chakavalesu, is everything included? All. And what Bobby's question is, that means what is this all? And that is where Buddha becomes silent. And when this question is asked so many number of times, it's called as tetralemma. You put him in one basket and say, this. So they keep on coming and say, Bhante, tell me one thing. Yes, go ahead. He knows what is he asking. But still say, yeah, go ahead. Antava loko, anantava loko. Bhante, another question. Antava loko, anantava loko. Why? I've already taught you it is depending on Patisamutpada. If this being, this comes to be. With the arising of this, this arises. What else do you want me to teach? Just tell me. There should be some origin, right? There should be some ending, right? Anta means ending. Ananta means no beginning, no end. So tell me, is it ending or it is unending? This one problem. So sattva loko, asasattva loko. Will the beings exist forever in the loka or no beings at all? Then the third one. He'll ask whether tam jivam tam shariram, anyam jivam anyam shariram. Is the body and the soul or the being are the same? Or body is one thing and the being is another thing? These are the three questions which, tell me, please, sir, tell me. Why? Because I want to know how it started. This is exactly what Bobby is asking. He used to ask the Buddha and he would smile. Did I teach you that? And there's one sutta where he says, did I ever say that if I tell you this, then you will become my disciple? Did I tell you this? Did I tell you this? Did I tell you? He says that, okay, forget it. I'm not your disciple. Okay. Who cares? Why? Because it's of no use. What will you do after knowing it? Instead, what Buddha says, you have the ability to know it yourself. Work it out. That's the right approach. Rather than giving something and saying, and then he'll say, I don't believe Buddha, whatever you said. Show me. What to show? No, you said parallel universe, right? Show me parallel universe. I want to go. So that is how every mind would work. So he will just remain silent. Then he will say, Have you seen this much? That versus this. I've only given what is required. Take it and go. Don't argue with me. For your own good, I'm telling you. And that person will say, I'm not your disciple. Okay. Who cares whether you're my disciple or no disciple? Goes. Then again he comes back. Vacha. Like that, how many suttas are there on Vacha? He threatens the Buddha. I will tell that Buddha doesn't know anything. Then in the end, he comes and says, Sir, I have gone through the entire thing. I can't find anyone other than you. Can you teach me? Now I've given up this. And then he starts. So for all of us, we need to take it and say that, yes, that's all what it is. So there is ending and there is origin. Both are there. But there is no absolute ending for anything. There is no absolute beginning for anything. That is what even Einstein found, saying that from the point of measurement, you can say that something is going and something is coming. If you stop the measurement, there's nothing coming and nothing going. And hence I call it as a spooky at the distance. It's from the measurement we're talking about. The plane is going, but it's going so slow. So when I see it here, it just moves from here to here. But from that place, it's running at 900 kilometers per kilometer for speed, per hour speed, 900 kilometers. But from the place where I'm measuring it, seeing through my eye, just going like this, and I can easily follow it. So, is it an error of perception? And the answer is yes. And that's the reason Einstein was surprised. E is equal to mc square when he did it. He came with a constant. And he found there's nothing called as a constant. It's variable. It's spooky. Because it's changing by measurement. So when I measure here, it's relative to that. So he created a theory of relativity. So that's exactly what Chakravala is. From the time you start measuring it, the Chakravala comes into operation. And then if you don't measure it, there's no Chakravala. And that's the starting point of quantum mechanics. And that's the reason it's quanta. Both are possible. Both are tails, both are heads. So you can have various combinations. So factorial of n. So n minus to infinity. That's the factor. Or we can say n tends to infinity. So that's one extreme. Or factor of n equals 100,000. Both are wrong. Because from the measurement perspective, you are saying n tends to infinity. Whereas here saying n tends to 1 point and so many zeros e. Let's say. So what's the value of n? It either tends to infinity or it tends to an absolute number. That's not true. So, quanta. So, Niels Bohr won the argument. Yeah, Aryu, what happened? You seemed like somebody came and slapped at you.
No, I just couldn't understand. That's why I'm silent.
No, it's very simple. See, if you take any mathematical equation and you can see that whether you can tend to an infinite or you can get into a finite. In any argument, you should have a finite and an infinite. That's exactly what Bobby was asking. Finite series and versus infinite series. So the world cycles, are they finite or infinite? And the answer is in the relative sense of measurement. if you were to not measure, can you find something? And the answer is no. So when you measure, that time only you can see it, otherwise no. And hence quantum mechanics took over the theory of relativity. So Niels Bohr put a paper on this, and he was not given enough prominence, and Einstein wanted to play it around, saying that it is except for spooky at a distance, and then his paper got approved, and then quanta came into picture. So the Buddha method is quanta rather than an absolute. And Einstein, like that's the reason I gave you the example of a plane moving from the place you measure. The distance, the space, and the time is known. If you don't measure, there's no time and space. This much distance is covered in so much time, and it has taken so much space. But from my home, if I see a plane flying, it flies so slow. I can track it through my eyes. Whereas going at 900 kilometers per hour, that means it would have crossed so many cities, but it is flying just here. Isn't it strange? See, from my house to Whitefield is 30 kilometers. If the train were to take that in 40 minutes, how much will the plane take to cover the same distance, which is going at 900 kilometers per hour? So 30 kilometers, how much can it take? Hardly a minute or two. But I'm still seeing the plane going like this. So is it wrong measurement? And the answer seems to be yes, because it's going by the theory of relativity. The space and time is based upon the relativity of the measurement, from where you're measuring it, and that will show you the distance and the time taken. So space and time. Whereas in quantum, anything is possible. Everything is possible. So Niels Bohr's argument is on quanta. Anyway, slightly digressed, but in terms of the world cycles, that is how we have to take.
I'm gonna call you later on to ask a few more questions. But I guess in terms of the relativity of space, I mean, times it's fairly obvious, right? For someone who just sleep and wake up, there's no time, you could say. But for someone else, it's a long time. And like that.
Yep. So let's end for today.